All right, well, now welcome to SE Custom Designs. I'm going to make this as short as I can. And so here we go. I am attempting my very first crown molding. And let me tell you, if you don't have this jig, it's going to pay for itself, trust me. I just had my neighbor come over and tell me that he did some crown molding in his kitchen, and my words, wishes he had such a unit. So this is Bench Dog Tools, crown cut, and they can't make it any easier. They basically lay out the instructions for you, and depending upon what cuts you're making, so these are inside corner cuts, and the key here is always cut crown molding upside down. Okay, you got to kind of think upside down and backwards, and these are outside corner. And what makes this tricky, well, what makes this unit pay for itself is that it holds the material exactly where you need it. You see? So you can move this in and out, and then there's little notches up here that will hold in place, okay? So that versus trying to just support everything there on a flat base like this, right? So let me say that to be honest, I wasted a lot of material trying to figure out how to do this. If you do it every day, okay, so great, you know what you're doing. When you're doing first offs and one-offs, which is what I do a lot in my wood shop, is customer says, I want this, so there you go. So I'm going to take you now up front to where we have most of the units cut out. All right. So there we go. There's my very first piece in place. My advice is to take the piece once you get your angles cut out and then pin it in the middle. So place it exactly the way it needs to go, pin it in the middle, and then you have wiggle room on either side, such in this case is to when I take this piece that goes into this piece. And because I like to work alone, here's my homemade jig. We got a extension pole on a ladder with a clamp. Now this employee right here is not arguing with me. Just doing as I told. So there you go. We know how that works. So the hardest part for me, again, was to cut them out perfectly. I am somewhat of a perfectionist, so that works against me. But the end product is going to be something I'll be proud of. So there you go. Now these pieces I'll fill in, and I'll continue cutting them at the angle so they can fit into each other all around. And you can imagine some of the challenges you might have in a house that's about 98 years old or so. Nothing is even. Zero is flush. Everything is at its own settled angle, droops and sags and so on and so forth. So I really have to use my think outside the box, just like this internal job here between the two doors. When I did all this work here, you have to just have an artistic eye and place it so that when your eyes are looking at it, it looks straight and plumb and flush. All the while, it isn't. So hopefully this is going to help anybody who has not done crown molding before. It'd be a lot easier if this were trim that went flat against the side, right? And all you had to do was cut angles like this, and then butt them together. This is crown molding. It's going at an angle. So let's see, like this, against the wall, right? So the ceiling and the wall. All right. We got some 700 videos on a variety of subjects. Please look up anything you think you might need to do. I do a lot of tool reviews. The pin gun, this is my second inexpensive pin gun called Airstrike Technology. This is from your Home Depot. This is absolutely perfect for the job. It has this nice safety feature built in where you can't pull the trigger and fire a pin. You have to push this in and then fire the pin. And these are 23 gauge. I have it the wrong way. 23 gauge pins. And we'll do a review on this unit because I want to do a side-by-side of my old one versus the new one, which is this one here. So that's that. Thanks for watching. And yeah, don't be too hard on yourself, for example, because of what I just described with all the waviness and this and that and the other. Even the professionals are going to use caulk to fill in cracks that you're going to see because, you know, like the wafer board, the beaded board, I can put a screw in there, pull it down, and then tack it. It's probably what I'll do. But at first, I just need to get the crown molding up there. Then you can just take a bead, go right down there. When I first put it up, see if I can zoom in. When I first put it up, it was absolutely very flush. But then when I started to pin, it started to have its own mind. But this is, trust me, my very first attempt when I was putting this, joining these together, it was horrible. They didn't line up at all. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Take care. Do my usual goodbyes in the various languages. Shalom uvracha. Tot ziens. Masalami. Zaijian.